Welcome in, everybody, to Fandom NFL. I'm your QB1, Joe Pisapia, and today we got a great show for you. We're going to keep doing mock drafts, PPR this time again. If you missed last week, we did this from the 1 spot in the draft. Now we're going to go all the way to the other end, and we're going to be drafting from the 12 spot. Different spot to be drafting in, different strategy. We're going to break that down for you, the difference between half and full PPR, and even more on the program today. And next week, we're going to be doing the same exact style mock draft, but from the middle of the draft to give you an idea of what you should be doing, how you should be approaching all of your drafts, because I know you got multiple drafts from multiple spots, and I want you to have a game plan when you go into it. So if you're new here to Fandom NFL, welcome. This is the spot, baby. We're going to be talking football all year round, 5-6 days a week, probably more like 6 when we get into the season too, because I'm here, you're here, and you want to talk about football. So if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, like this video, drop your comments below. Tomorrow we got a special guest on the show. Dave Richard from CBS is going to join us, so you're not going to want to miss that. So ring the bell till it goes ding, so you never miss a piece of content here on the channel. And yes, Judge Joey will be back again this week as well, shooting for Thursday, noon Eastern. So we're going to set that up again. So if you want to be there to get your questions answered, well, then be there and hang out with us over at Fandom NFL, that us meeting me and my split personalities as well. Before we get into the draft today, which we're going to be doing on RotoWire, a couple pieces of business real quick. Remember, for those of you looking for just the podcast version, it exists everywhere right now. Fandom NFL is out there for you. Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Apple, everywhere you can get your podcast. And also, we're giving away a Zay Flowers jersey again because, well, the first person didn't claim it. So how do you win the Zay Flowers jersey? I will tell you who, by the way, Zay Flowers just got an extension. You win the jersey by subscribing to the channel, dropping your comments, liking the video. That's it. That's all you got to do. We're going to announce the winner this week. So I'm going to try to get to it on Friday. If not, then we'll do it on Monday's show, depending on how things go. We got a big tournament this weekend I'm coaching in PA. And remember, for those of you who are new to the program, download the app at RotoWire. Use the promo code JoeyP. You get 20% off, and you support independent creators like myself. We get a chunk of this change when you sign up there. Get the tools that you need. And today we're going to use those RotoWire tools yet again to show you what's going on there with your mock draft software. You sync your leagues for free. You check it out. Use the promo code JoeyP. Let's get to some news before we start the show too. Breaking. I told you the other day, don't worry about Jahmyr Gibbs and Bijan Robinson. They're going to get theirs. Well, one of the two dominoes has fallen, so let's just talk about it real quick. Bijan Robinson of the Falcons agreed to terms with Atlanta Tuesday on a 3-year extension worth $75 million. This is great for Bijan Robinson. It's great for the Falcons. Yeah, they're paying him a lot of money, but that's what you do because he's Bijan Robinson. He is the main cog in your offense, especially one that doesn't have definitive good quarterback play. Tua is an average quarterback in the NFL who's had a lot of concussions and is dealing with some back issues right now. Michael Penix isn't healthy. We're in a bad spot here with the Falcons. In some ways, I think the Falcons will be better off if they were to have a very bad season and get towards the top of that NFL draft next year for quarterbacks. I think that would be the ideal scenario for them. But regardless, Bijan's going to work a ton. We discussed this in the last mock draft episode. You can watch on demand on the channel. Now, the mock drafts, again, are only on YouTube. They're not on the podcast feed, so that's a little incentive for you to make sure you're joining here on the YouTube. And I still favor Jahmyr Gibbs this year, not because of the talent or anything like that. It's just a matter of environment. Jared Goff, solidified quarterback situation. Better quarterbacks are going to put you in better positions to extend drives. Extended drives lead to more points, which leads to more fantasy points. Period. End of story. So that is a very easy equation. It's not that Bijan Robinson can't outperform Jahmyr Gibbs at the 1 spot. Of course he can. He's Bijan Robinson. He's terrific. But if it's between those two guys, I'm going to take Gibbs 1. I'm going to take Bijan 2. I feel very definitive about this. The ecosystem is better. And if you want to learn more about the ecosystem, go get yourself a Fantasy Football Black Book 2026 right now on Amazon. Look at that shameless promotion plug. Unbelievable. Seamless. I'm going to be giving away one of these too when we hit 2,500 subscribers. So we're getting there. We're almost at 2,000 as of recording this today. We should blow past that number this week, and we're going to give away a Black Book. Plus, you also get digital cheat sheets with the Black Book too. We get updated every single week by me. I got another update to do this week, so check out that. Again, you can only get it on Amazon. Get your Black Book 2026, just updated that as well. So, without further ado, look, a little bit of business, a little bit of news at the top, 5 minutes into the show, and we're going to get right to drafting, baby. Here we go. Boom. We are here doing a mock draft. You can see already the board started. Now, just to walk you through on RotoWire, the full walkthrough is on the last show. I don't want to do that twice here. I want to keep this simple for everybody. but it allows you to customize your draft, put keepers in, move things around, all the customizations you could possibly want. Then it allows you to get a draft plan. I've already gone through that, right? The draft plan allows you to put players you're targeting at the spot you're going to be drafting from, players you're fading that you don't want to come up as suggestions. So you could really tailor this right for you, and then you can use some of the great analyst rankings as well if you prefer. My good friend Theo Greminger, I got to hang out with this past weekend for the first time. You do shows together for years. You never get to hang out in person. It was great. Theo, Jim Coventry, great folks over in RotoWire. They got a fantastic staff all the way around there. But let's start here with this mock. And as you can see from the 12 spot in a full PPR, this board was pretty interesting to start. I'll flick over to the board here for you for a moment. And you'll see Jamar Chase, Christian McCaffrey go 1-2 off the board. Interesting. JSN, then Bijan, Jahmyr Gibbs. So a little bit of different flavor here. Jonathan Taylor goes next at 1-6. Then you have Justin Jefferson, Puka Nacua, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Devon Achane at 110, CeeDee Lamb at 11. So what do I want to do? In a half PPR, I am somebody that really does prefer at the 12 spot to come away with at least one running back. That's my preference. You could go double running back if you want there, if the guys you like fall to you. You're not going to find Jonathan Taylor necessarily, I think, getting out of that top 10 range typically. You're okay with the double up strategy here in full PPR. What I want to do here in this scenario is look at the board, and I want to take the two best players I can, still typically regardless of position. But in full PPR, I am willing to at least, especially this season with the way running back is and the way those rooms are, I'm willing to double tap wide receiver as well. Let's talk about the guys that are on the board right now. At the running back position, you have James Cook, Ashton Jeanty, Chase Brown, all very viable options for sure. If you scroll down here on the RotoWire software, you're going to see the rest of these guys here. Ken Walker, you're going to see Omari and Hampton, who I absolutely love. If you go flip over to the wide receivers that are still available, A.J. Brown, Drake London, George Pickens. Pretty darn good group. I'm going to do the one of each scenario and see how that plays out today. We'll look at that roster construction. I do believe A.J. Brown here with Drake May is a lock to get back to the situation of 1,200 yards, double-digit touchdowns, looking like the A.J. Brown of a couple years ago. I feel very confident in that, so I'm going to go ahead and take him. So I have that alpha dog wide receiver in a full point PPR. The other wide receivers here, Drake London, George Pickens, Zay Flowers. You can go through here. The problem I have here with these guys is not that I don't love them. I do. But I do like a good hero running back build, even at the 12 spot. So Drake London, I'm worried about Tua. God forbid he gets hurt. I'm worried about Penix too, to a certain degree. Not that he can't get the volume just because of the health of everybody, of where we're at. George Pickens is great, but again, he's more of a 1A. I can find those guys probably a little later. That's my bank here. That's my bet. I will say, coming back here, last year I was a big James Cook guy. I'm still a big James Cook guy. He plays in a great offensive ecosystem that I talk about in the Black Book. So let's take James Cook there and see how this plays out. So out to the board here. We'll see how things go. Everything's running quick here after I took Brown and Cook at the turn. Jeanty, Chase Brown, Saquon, Ken Walker. Big running back run. Not surprising at all. Be prepared for that. Then you have Drake London, Trey McBride at 2-7, Derrick Henry 2-8, Brock Bowers, Pickens, Omari and Hampton. My guy, Jeremiah Love, flying up draft boards. That's why I like the RotoWire software too, because it really does show you where things are moving towards. It's not kind of stuck in an older ADP. Then you have Rashee Rice at 3-1, making the turn the other way. Nico Collins. Nico lasted a long time in this one for a PPR. Josh Jacobs, Breece Hall, Josh Allen goes in the third round, which is about typical where he's going to go mid to late third round, sometimes even early, depending on the bias of your league. Tedero, McMillan, Lamar Jackson. So I got two QBs going in this round. That's great for me because I want more position players to fall. Because once again, if you missed the quarterback rank show I did the other day, go back and watch that. It's half hour long. It's going to break down my vibe on quarterback, why late QB is a good strategy this year, what to do with Superflex. It's all there for you. Chris Olave, Malik Neighbors, T. Higgins at 310. Then at 311, you have Bucky Irving. So let's go back to me. Let's take a look at what's available here at the wide receiver position. Zay Flowers still there. Devonta Smith still there. You'll look here. Terry McLaurin, Emeka Egbuka. So many different ways I can go. Let's take a look at the running backs and tight ends. Tight ends available. Colston Loveland, my guy. Very tempting here. If I don't take Loveland, I'm going to not get him. I have to know that. I have to understand that going in. If I was in a 10-team league here at the turn, I would take Loveland. Why? Because that supply and demand for wide receiver is better. If this was a 2 wide receiver league instead of a 3, which is what we have the roster set for, we have 3 wide receiver, 1 flex, 2 running back, tight end, quarterback, 6 bench. If we were actually in a scenario with the 2 wide receivers starting, I would take Loveland here. But I do have more wide receiver spots I've got to fill, but I want to fill them with elite talent as well. So Zay Flowers just got the bag. I want to take him. That's an easy selection here. Looking at the running backs available, some of the suggestions here, obviously, Javonte Williams, Kyron Williams, all good choices. Cam Scadaboo, I worry he doesn't make it back to me. I have to ask myself the question, can I live with David Montgomery or Travis Etienne as my number 2? I can. It's not my ideal scenario, but I'm willing to do it. When we have some of these other running backs after that, it's Travion Henderson, it's Quinshon Judkins. I think there's enough there. Going back to the wide receiver room too, Devonta Smith, Garrett Wilson, Jalen Waddle. Man, full point PPR, I'm looking for targets. I'm looking for clear number 1s. I'm looking for guys that have got it done time and time again. I really like Devonta Smith. I really do. It's really between Devonta Smith for me right here, and it's between going with either a Kyron, Javonte, or turning the tables all together with Colston Loveland. For the sake of this show, I'm going to see if I can make the Colston Loveland scenario work here with some value later on. I'm going to see if I can spark a little tight end run here because we've already gotten Bowers off the board. We've already got McBride off the board. Let's see if I can still make this work, still get a strong wide receiver 3 coming back to me and an RB2. Let's roll the dice and see if I can do it. If I can't, this is what it's all about. This is why we mock draft. So we'll figure that out here. Looking at the board here, after Loveland, there goes Devonta Smith, there goes Egbuka, Kyron, Javonte, Cam Scadaboo, knew he wouldn't make it back, Travis Etienne, again, probably knew that. Garrett Wilson, Jalen Waddle, Drake May at 410, then Ladd McConkey, who's going to be a beast this year in PPR, just putting that out there. Quinshon Judkins, Tyler Warren, then Travion Henderson at 5'2", so here's more tight ends here. Tyler Warren going off the board, Travion going off the board, Luther Burden, Devontae Adams, Mike Evans, Joe Burrow, Swift. Now, DJ Moore is one of the guys I was hoping would make it back to me, or Terry McLaurin. I just missed both of them. So lesson learned there. If I go big tight end, probably DJ Moore, McLaurin don't make it back. Maybe by the skin of their teeth, but didn't happen. Carnell Tate next. Jalen Hurts next. Now we are going back here to 512. So let's take a look at 512 now and see what's available. David Montgomery's still there. That was my last fail-safe at RB2. I know he's not going to catch a ton of balls. It doesn't matter. Yards are yards. He's my RB2. You know he's going to be the main guy there. You know he's the goal line guy. Boom, done. Now we're looking for, as we look at this team build as well, we're trying to figure out what the next scenario is for us. So if you look at my team build, I saw here, you're looking here, you're learning the RotoWire software. Cook, Montgomery, Brown, Zay Flowers, Colston Loveland. This is a really strong roster. Now I've got to make up some ground here at wide receiver. We know I'm going to go late late quarterback. That's going to be in there. Jameson Williams, not the biggest fan of, okay? It's too boomer bust for me. DK Metcalf, again, very boomer bust. Don't love this offense. Roma Dunze, I like the player. I'm a little concerned here of what we're going to do. I think there's upside here with Christian Watson. He's wide receiver 29. I think there's a scenario where he is better than you can possibly imagine. I think that we've seen the playmaking ability from him. We like what we see here. So you can look at the player card here. You can see all this information matches the top wide receiver need. Now it's the same buy as A.J. Brown. Is that concerning? A little. I think people overdo it when it comes to the bye weeks. If you end up with a really heavy bye week for one of your teams, or 2 of your teams, so what? It just means you're going to take an L that week. And you're going to save some fab here trying to run around getting some jabronis to play and take their spots. I'm not against just stacking guys. I want the best players, okay? If 4 guys fall on one bye week, okay, fine. I'm going to have a tough week. So what? I'll have the rest of my team ready to go the rest of the season. I'm okay with it. We know the playmaking ability. We know the upside. We know the target volume's there. I'm going to take Christian Watson and see how it goes. Let's go back to the board here and see how things are unfolding. So far, I'm pretty happy with this. So Christian Watson goes, Jameson Williams, then Tootin, Laporta, Jaden Daniels, Roma Dunze, Brian Thomas, Harold Fannin at 6'8", then Caleb, Jadarian, Jordan Tyson, Jackson Dart at 6'12". On the turn in the 7th round, Mekhi Lemon, one of my favorite pieces here as a wide receiver 4. He's off the board. Okay, DK Metcalf, Tucker Kraft. He's my pivot point at tight end. Had I not gone Loveland, I would have gone Kraft with this latest pick that I made. Again, there's lots of ways you can do this from the 12 spot. I'm just showing you one here where we're going and trying our best to push the envelope just a tad here. And so far, I got to say I'm happy with it. Marvin Harrison, then Michael Wilson. Look how close the two of these guys are going in some of these drafts. Now, I know this is a bot. I get it. But they're good bots. And these two are getting closer and closer by the day. If we get to September 1st and Wilson goes ahead of Harrison, I would not be shocked at all. He's going ahead in my drafts. I can tell you that much. Cortland Sutton, Kyle Pitts, then RJ Harvey at 7-8, at 7-9, Dak Prescott. Then you get Jalen Warren at 7-12 and Chuba Hubbard at 7-11. So let's go back to our team here and let's see what's going on in our war room. You can see your cheat sheets. You can see the depth charts of everybody. You can see some of the competitive insights too of how you're doing, which I love. So when you look at the insights here, you can see I'm team 12. I don't have a quarterback. I've got my 3 wides. I got my 2 running backs. I got my tight end. Now it's about getting the best available talent I can find. That's what I want. I want the best player on the board and probably a 3rd running back that I can handle. Rico Dowdle, Tony Pollard, Ramondre Stevenson are out there. Are any of these guys super exciting? Not really. Pollard, I think, is the most exciting of that group to me. I think he has a little bit clearer path to the majority of the carries. Stevenson and Henderson could be in a split. Dowdle Warren in a split. You know, we keep waiting for Tajay Spears to be part of this split, but I don't know. It's a little still far-fetched for me. Quarterbacks, just to look and see what's going on. Still Herbert, still Mahomes, still Lawrence, still plenty of quarterbacks. If I end up with Purdy and Stafford or guys like that, I'm fine. Wide receivers, it's a PPR. This is what I care about. Chris Godwin is a risk, but he is more of a wide receiver 3 than he is a flex guy. So I'm happy to take Chris Godwin here. Looking at the rest of the wide receivers here, I'm going to take another wide receiver and just load up in PPR. Not with Jaden Reed, not with Josh Downs, but instead with Parker Washington. I think this is a great value here. It's telling me the insights. Yes, he has the same buy as James Cook. I don't care. I want the best players. He has an easy full season schedule. He has an easy playoff schedule. I love that it's already telling you about the playoffs in the RotoWire software. I love that. Top 15 wide receiver and projected rushing attempts too, so he's going to touch the ball a little bit more with some gimmick plays, which is fun. Top 25 wide receiver in rushing yards projected and with rushing touchdowns, top 20 too. I think Parker Washington is the way I want to go here. So I'm going to double up. I'm going to see what happens with running back on the way back. Cross my fingers, see what happens. But again, it's PPR. So I want to focus on getting as many wide receivers and as I can in that depth. And hopefully I can at least get one running back here as my RB3 that I can live with. Let's roll the dice and see what happens. All right, now remember, as you're watching this here, don't forget, you can go ahead and download the app and run these for yourself. Download the RotoWire app, use that promo code JoeyP, get 20% off. I want you to do that. Again, it helps the channel here, helps me directly, and it helps you. It's not just for the draft tools. It's great. Draft tools are amazing. Sync your leagues. It'll help you with your draft with recommended picks, but also it's going to help you in season manage all your rosters too, and that's huge. All right, next up here, let's take a look at the board. See how things have gone. Have I rolled the dice? Am I out of my depth? Have I already ruined this team? I don't think so. Kind of like this build from 12 so far. George Kittle goes at 8-2, then Travis Kelce, J.K. Dobbins, Rico Dowdle, Ramondre Stevenson. At 8-7, you get Alec Pierce, Jacoby Myers, then Blake Corum, Justin Herbert, Dalton Kincaid, Michael Pittman. Starting the 9th round, Kyle Monangai, Tony Pollard. Okay, wanted him. Figured he wouldn't make it back. Jordan Addison. Love that value in the 9th round. Quentin Johnston, Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, Kenneth Gainwell. That one hurt too. So many arrows I'm taking here. Let's see how it goes. Hey, look, this is life. This is going to be what real draft is, especially when you draft with competent people in the league, okay? So this is going to happen. Jake Ferguson goes next, then Wan'Dale Robinson. After Robinson, Trevor Lawrence, Romeo Dobbs. I am back on the clock. Let's look here at my roster. So James Cook, David Montgomery, A.J. Brown, Zay Flowers, Christian Watson, Colston Loveland, Chris Godwin, Parker Washington on my bench. Love the depth at wide receiver. Need some depth at RB for sure. Let's see what's available and how dark it is in this draft. You know what? Not too bad. Rachaad White, still out there. Let's go take him. That's an easy one for me. I think he's the best guy there. And I can't wait to talk about this running back tomorrow on the show with Dave Richard. Jonathan Brooks, I'm going to take him as well. I could have pivoted here to take Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason. It's nice to own an entire backfield. It's also maddening sometimes because you don't know who to play each week and you need an injury for one of the guys to really move forward. And when you have an injury, what does that mean? It means one of the spots on your roster is dead. Kyren Williams, Blake Corum are the two guys that I prefer if you're going to do that strategy with, where you're going to own a backfield this year. I like the Kyren, I like the Corum, I like that grouping. I want to talk about this for a second too, so I'm just going to remove the draft board for a minute because I want you to understand this. Handcuffing of running backs in deeper leagues makes sense, especially when you know the guy who's taking over is very capable. Not every guy is very capable. Specifically, that Rams backfield, we've seen Blake Corum get some touchdowns. We've seen him work. We know he's going to have at least a weekly role anyway. So that is a grouping there with Kyren and Corum that I feel good about, because I do think if something happened to Kyren Williams, Corum is more than capable of being the go-to guy. And on top of that, it's an elite offense. I don't know if the Minnesota Vikings are going to be elite offense again. I don't know if we're going to be there. So I wanted to take a moment just to talk about that, because everyone always asks, what do you do here with the backfields? Do you have to get Brian Robinson and handcuff him to Bijan Robinson? No, you don't. You don't have to. But it is one of those things you need to think about in a 14-team league, sure, because it does make sense to have that insurance policy, and you're drafting guys that you're not really excited about when you get that deep anyway. But in a 12-team league here, I'm trying to win. I'm trying to get as much talent as I can. So as we go back to the draft board, what I'm trying to do is get back to upside. Jonathan Brooks is that upside. I'm going to take him. Already some rumors that he's working in a tandem with Chuba Hubbard. Could even overtake him for more. Let's look at the draft board, see what else is going on. After I take Brooks, Aaron Jones, Patrick Mahomes, then Mason Stafford. Stephon Diggs, still a free agent as of now. Aronde Gadsden, Jaden Reed, Matthew Golden, Charbonnet at 10-10, Goff at 10-11, then Casey Concepcion at 10-12, Dallas Goedert at 11-1, Brock Purdy at 11-2. All right. So we've hit all the quarterbacks pretty much. I want to look at the insights and see just who doesn't have a quarterback. My guess, it's me. Spoiler alert. Isaiah Likely at 11-3, Hunter Henry at 11-fun, Bo Nix at 11-5, Tyler Algier. Then you've got Deebo Samuel back with the 49ers. Talked about that on yesterday's show. If you want the full breakdown, go watch yesterday's show, which I know, I hear you, everybody. You love the early 6:30 a.m. release time. Little cup of joe in the morning, talking football on Mondays. Now, that's how you start off the week. Everybody's miserable on Monday. It's a little bit better when you got some good football talk. Brian Robinson, speaking of the devil. So Deebo, Jaden Higgins, Brian Robinson, then Khalil Shakir, Jalen Coker at 11-11. So here we go. We're going to take a look here and see what's going on in the war room. We're going to look at the rosters. And, a lot of people have some quarterbacks there. That's for sure. Going to go back to the war room here, look at the depth charts here, and see what's going on. Yeah, so QB there, we're looking through some of these teams here, what we have left, and competitive insights. There we go. That's what I want to look at. Everybody's got a quarterback for me. I'm the last guy to get a quarterback, and I'm not against drafting two, because we've had a lot of quarterbacks get hurt the last couple of years. Let's look at what's available at flex first, okay? So Xavier Worthy, Mark Andrews, Chris Rodriguez. Okay, these guys don't really move the needle for me. Strange, Naylor, Woody Marks. All right, best available wide receiver, Xavier Worthy. Doesn't really move the needle for me. Mark Andrews, not interested. I'm already in big-time tight end. If that goes bust, so goes my team. Quarterbacks. Let's take a look here at what's available on the board. Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, Sam Darnold. Is it the greatest situation? No. But I will say this. I am very okay with taking Baker Mayfield. I am okay with the upside of Kyler Murray too. I think there's a lot of upside there. They have different bye weeks. Just kind of looking around this draft and seeing once again where we're at. We are in the 11th, 12th round. When you look at the draft board, we are nearly done. I could wait on quarterback. My fear is, even though everyone's got one, that one or two are going to take some others. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to double tap quarterback, because I got some other sleepers that I want to take later on. Some guys we're going to talk about on tomorrow's show. So I'm going to go ahead, double tap QB now before I lose the last two that I'm really excited about. Baker Mayfield is one of those guys. You'll see Jordan Love out there. He's fine. Sam Darnold, fine. I'm going to take the big swing here with Kyler Murray. Some would want to take it with Malik Willis. Malik Willis is not throwing to Justin Jefferson, folks. That's just not happening. All right, so let's take a look here and see where we're at with the rest of the draft board. After that unfolds, I double tap my quarterbacks. It's a good thing I did, because I see at least one here with Tyler Shuck going. So you've got Mark Andrews, Chris Rodriguez at 12-4, Xavier Worthy, 12-5, Kenyon Sadiq, Woody Marks, Tyrone Tracy, Rashid Shaheed, Alvin Kamara, Isaiah Davis, Travis Hunter, Jonah Coleman. Love Coleman too. He's a nice late running back to get. Jordan Love, Tajay Spears, Omar Cooper, Denzel Boston, Brenton Strange, Stribling, Jawan Jennings. Then at 13-8, Keaton Mitchell. 13-9, Jalen Naylor. Back to me soon after Chigakonkwo and Tyler Shuck. So let's get back to the war room. Let's look at the depth charts here. Okay, so these are some of the guys that are available here in the different depth charts at QB. As you roll through the positions here at wide receiver, I kind of love this. So you're seeing all the guys, like who's a wide receiver 2 or who's wide receiver 3 somewhere. There's some options here. One of the guys that I'm really intrigued by, who is coming off a massive injury, who hasn't played in a long time, but I am really intrigued by Tank Dell. Tank Dell looks healthy to me. Tank Dell, I think, is really intriguing. I'm going to go ahead and take Tank Dell, another wide receiver. I'm going to look at the RB room too, and some interesting guys here as backups. Okay, Tesla is another wide receiver I really like if I can't get Tank Dell. Here's some of the backup running backs still available, and I love this, that you can go right into the depth chart of the team and really see these things. I'm not a big Jaden Blue guy. Marshawn Lloyd is really interesting, though, with Josh Jacobs' problematic offseason, to say the least. You see Jalen Wright, you see Braylon Allen, although I prefer Isaiah Davis, who already got drafted. So, again, this software in RotoWire is sharp. It's sharper than a lot of your leagues are going to be. You should be using it. So we're kind of done here with a lot of these RBs. I've got 4 of them. I feel like I'm in a good place. Just to kind of look right now on my roster and just see what I got. Baker Mayfield, Cook, David Montgomery, A.J. Brown, Flowers, Watson, Loveland, Godwin, Parker Washington, White and Brooks. I'm good there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep having some fun. That's right. I'm going to look at that wide receiver that I was looking at earlier as I scroll through. Trey Tucker is another guy that's kind of interesting to me. There could be some upside there. Tesla is really interesting. I'm going to take Trey Tucker here and hope that he is the number 1 wide receiver on this team. Roll the dice. Tesla, Dell, Tucker. These are some of the late names that I like. So we're going to go through here and see what my grade is. My grade is a B, 80 out of 100. And it's tough to draft down there because you're not going to get Bijan or Jahmyr Gibbs or Jamar Chase. You're not going to get those Puka Nacua guys. They're not happening. So what you've got to do at 12 is something like this, where you build a roster that is deep, that is strong, that has upside, that can compete on a weekly basis, and has the depth to survive the season. The upside of drafting at the turn at 12 or even 10 is that. So I want your comments here on this roster. I'm going to run through it for you really quick here, and you tell me what you think of this roster. We've got Baker Mayfield at quarterback. Okay. Just not that far removed, by the way, from a pretty spectacular season 2 years ago. All right. Look at the projections, over 4,000 yards, 26 passing touchdowns. He's going to get 30 touchdowns. This is easy for Baker Mayfield. Playing for money, no less. James Cook at running back, 1. My RB2, David Montgomery. My wide receiver group, A.J. Brown, PPR, Zay Flowers, Christian Watson, Chris Godwin, then Parker Washington on the bench, Colston Loveland at tight end. You've seen Rashad White here as my backup with Jonathan Brooks. Kyler Murray's my second QB. If he really pops, look, you got a couple weeks here to figure things out for Kyler Murray. Who knows? He could even take over Baker Mayfield as a better fantasy option, or I could play matchups. Try to get the most out of each position you can on the roster. Then I took a couple swings at the end. 2 more wide receivers. Tank Dell, one of CJ Stroud's favorite targets, and then Trey Tucker last there. Isaac Tesla, another guy that I would have considered taking at that juncture. So that is the team. That is the roster. That's what it looks like. I hope you are enjoying this content here. I hope you are learning something with this content here, because to me, it's not about me fishing for you. It's teaching you how to fish, because I'm going to release you into the wild, and you're going to have to draft these teams on your own for the most part. And when I say for the most part, I mean you do get some help there with the RotoWire software. Download the app. Promo code JoeyP, 20% off. Check it out for free. If you like it, use the JoeyP and upgrade. 20% off. Pretty good deal there. So I want to hear from you. What did you think of the roster I built? What did you think of the construction? What do you think of my thoughts on the 12 spot in a PPR? I love hearing from all of you. We've had great conversations there. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And when you subscribe, when you drop your comments, when you like this video, good things happen, because you could win the Zay Flowers jersey this week. It's back on the menu, everybody. We're very excited about that here. And I'm just excited to see this channel just about at 2,000. Let's get this to 2,000 subscribers. Then we're going to get to 2,500 to give away a black book. Then we're going to get to 3,000. And we're going to have a great time. Don't forget, ring the bell till it goes ding so you don't miss tomorrow's show with CBS fantasy football today's man, myth, legend, Dave Richard. We're going to talk about the sleepers out there in the consensus. Are they really that good? Should you draft them? Should you stay away? All that good stuff right here on Fandom NFL. Love all the support. Can't get enough of all of you. So excited you're here on the channel. Tell friends, tell everybody, share this video around that Joey P is back in town. The boys are back in town doing some football. And the ladies, all of you here watching the channel too, I see you in the comments. I'm so happy. This is a channel for all of us, all right? And we're going to fantasy football better. We're going to wager better here on this channel, and we're going to have a good time doing it. Judge Joey's back this week. So many fun things on Fandom NFL. That'll do it for me, Joey P. We'll see you next time. This has been Fandom NFL YouTube. Make sure you come back for more.